So today's video we're going to be talking about the SLR. It's a new rifle. Well, it's not really new. It's been in the PUBG PC version for a long time, but it just came to Android. As you can see, it fits in a class of rifles that's kind of the sniper slash AR class. And as you notice here, the AR flash hider and the sniper flash hider fit with it. Same thing goes for magazines. You can use an AR magazine or you can use a sniper magazine. And you can use all the scopes. I'm doing a separate video on a scope comparison that's coming out soon. So make sure you're subscribed and you don't miss that. You can put the cheek pad, of course. But in this new 0.70 update, we have the 3x scope and the 6x scope now, in addition to the regular 2x, 4x, and 8x that we have. And what I've got pictured here is the setup that I'll be using in just a few minutes when you see me play with the SLR. Now I want to compare the SLR to the specs of the SKS and the Kar 98. If you've been watching for a while, you know the Kar 98 is my favorite sniper rifle. And as you can see, the range on the SLR is a little bit lower than the Kar 98. And the range on the SKS is lower than the SLR. I'm getting these confused. You're going to get more power out of your Kar 98 than both of these guns. Recoil is going to be less on the SKS, so the numbers are really all over the board here. So let's just give it a run and see how it shakes out, and you can make a decision for yourself. So I was just strolling along in the power plant, as I often do, and I happened to see SLR. Now, I didn't know the SLR had been released, but it's an interesting find nonetheless, so I wanted to give it a shot. And I originally picked up this SKS so I could try to compare the two. But as you'll see in a minute, I find a Kar 98 and I end up using that. Now, the thing that I really like about the SLR is something you can also do with the SKS, if that's your gun, is use AR suppressors, and you can use AR mags, AR flash hiders, etc. So basically, when you find AR accessories, they are compatible with the SLR and the SKS. Now, I don't like the SKS at all. I don't really know why. I mean, I can't hit with it. It just doesn't work for me. I think it's got, I usually lead too far or too little with it, and I'm just not effective, so I don't use it. But with that being said, you can actually use the AR attachments on those two rifles, and that's something really handy, in my opinion. Here I'm using the 8x scope, as you saw me get earlier. And I mean, the SLR is a nice gun. It has a decent amount of power. I would have expected to knock this guy out a little sooner if I was using the Kar 98, but it was still effective. I'm sure you've noticed by now that the sound is quite different from the SLR. Even with the suppressor, you can tell that it's much different than the other weapons that we're used to hearing. So you should be able to hear this very distinctly if someone is shooting at you with the SLR. Now, I just cut out a lot of nonsensical looting between the last clip and this one. I was just trying to gather up as much 7.62 ammo as I could so I can do a few little tests here to compare the SLR versus the Kar 98. Now at this point, I've set up the SLR and the Car 98 with a 4X scope, and I'm comparing them both with their flash hiders while shooting this motorcycle. This lets you see how much the muzzle jumps as you fire on both weapons. The SLR has a little bit more jump to it. I notice it takes me a little longer to reset my position with the SLR. Actually, that was without flash hiders, my bad. Now this is going to be the SLR with the suppressor in comparison. It's a little less jump, but it still takes a little time to reset it. A little more than I'm used to. Or maybe it's just because I'm so used to the time that you have with the Car 98 reloading the bolt, I guess. This is the Car 98 with the flash hider. You can see that it has a lot less muzzle jump on it. Now in this clip, I'm setting them both up with a 4X scope again, and they both have flash hiders. The SLR is running an AR flash hider, and the Car 98 has a sniper flash hider. And it's the same test of muzzle jump. I'm doing 5 shots with each weapon, so you can compare the two. Hopefully these comparisons have given you a decent idea of what to expect from the new SLR rifle that we're having in PUBG Mobile 7.0 or 0.7, however you want to look at it. If this helps you out, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing the scope video later this week. Thanks for watching.